pretty much what it's like in Houston most of the year. Just rains. Does not snow in the winter, it rains. And it gets humid. It gets very humid. I was not, after living here for 30 years and moving to Montana, I never, I don't know. I mean, I've been to other places before, but it was just kind of weird. And this will be for the people on my channel that are on my channel, looking at my channel. Who am I? To all the 20 subscribers I have, who am I? Well, my name's Anthony. Most people call me Ant. I'm originally from Houston, Texas. Yeah, I've lived in Houston, Texas my whole life. I've been to other states, but I've never lived anywhere else. And then oh man, for about 6 years I worked downtown in the medical center. That job fucking sucked. Being around a bunch of sick kids and shit, that'll kill you right there. That'll kill you. But it's, it's pretty hard seeing kids having like terminal cancer, and a lot of these kids aren't gonna make it to their damn like 5th birthday and shit, and you're just like, damn, you think you got problems, and then you go to one of these places, and your problems just seem a whole lot smaller, especially when you see the parents. Anywho, I don't want to get all this depressed. I kicked rocks back in 2021. They fired me for not getting the shot, but I don't know, I kind of was like, well, I don't want to work here anymore anyways, because of what I was just talking about. So so I left there. I got a supervisor job at this plant, and then one day the maintenance guy, he just asked me if I wanted a job, and I said yeah, and I said I know a little bit, and I really didn't. I didn't know shit. I thought I did, and then I got on the production floor. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, which was pretty funny looking back. And they found something for me to do, and they found out I wasn't afraid of heights, and that's kind of what saved me, because there were like 6 silos you had to climb every morning, and they were, they weren't like that tall, but they were still like 60 feet. I remember the thing saying I was like 70 feet in the air. So that was like the silo and the railing that was like above me. Oof. I just thought of falling off one of those things. The first day I was like, yeah, I'm not afraid of heights, but I kind of was. But I also, liked having a job. So, and they just kind of streamlined me. They didn't drug test me. They didn't check my background, which is all clean, except for, I smoked some weed here and there, So, but I ended up running their water treatment plant, which was all outside. I had never worked outside before. And Texas summer was coming up, and we were having issues, and I told the maintenance supervisor, you need someone here at night. I'm gonna volunteer right now. And I was really the only guy that could work 3rd shift for these guys working the plant, working the wash plant, they called it. You're just recycling water. I learned a lot. I learned a lot out there just at my own devices. Yeah, and then I went on vacation, and when I came back, they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna need you to take a drug test." And I said, "Why?" Like, I just came back from vacation. Like, I see how it is, and and then they wanted to watch me take a piss, and I'm like, you know what? I just don't, this isn't that big of a job. I'm not even making that much money. I'm kind of just learning how to do stuff. And I said, you know what? I do have a plan, and I've been thinking about it for a while, and I think this is like the sign that I should go through with it. And I had never been to the American Northwest, and here I am basically getting my whole life savings together, and I moved to Montana, almost to Alberta, and doing something I had never done before. I started my company. I didn't know anything about the company, about how to run a company. I knew a guy that had a lot of ambition, and that kind of like kept me going. The guy I was working for, he was just kind of like that light under my butt, the fire under my butt. But I got to keep going forward unless I want to get burned. And he was kind of mean and said a lot of things that I'll remember for a long time. But I also kind of proved him wrong on a lot of stuff this year. I ended up calling a guy we barely worked a month for, and I just said, hey man, you need some help? I'm here. I want to come back to Montana, and just give it another go. I wasn't thinking about quitting. I was never thinking about quitting, but I just kind of needed a different set of pace, and this guy ended up being that. He was complete opposite. He was real nice. I've messed up. Of course, everybody's gonna mess up. That's what I learned about in this industry, that being a contractor, doing contract work. People are gonna act like they know how to do stuff, and they don't, or they're gonna act like they're better than you at stuff, and it really just comes down to how you perform at a certain point in time, because you could be doing two things, the exact same job, and on one job you don't have any sleep, not eating right, drinking too much. The other job, you're sleeping right, eating right, you're not drinking after work every day, eating bad food. And of course, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that in the first place for not taking care of yourself? And another thing I've noticed about this line of work is, you don't have an infinite amount of energy. You have so much energy that you can use in an 8 to 12 hour period, and after that, you really shouldn't be working anymore. You should be recovering. I had this idea that you should work yourself to exhaustion every day, and then that's when the day is over. No. You need to set a time when you are gonna leave, and or when you start feeling tired for the day. God damn, I hate fucking mosquitoes, man. One thing I just hate about living around here is the fucking mosquitoes. So, and it rains all the time, so there's a lot of mosquitoes. So, back to what I was saying. I was kind of like trailing off. But another thing, you only have so much energy in one day, and you start getting tired, start picking up, because you're gonna need energy to pick up. If you work every day to the point where you're exhausted, you're not gonna give a shit about cleaning up. You're not gonna give a shit about cleaning out the sprayer. You're gonna dump it in some water, tape up the paint, lids. You're gonna tape. You're gonna so air isn't like getting in there. You know, you're gonna do the bare minimum. Maybe even not even put a tarp on your stuff. You just pile it up somewhere and all right, I'll be back tomorrow. And then it rains overnight. Now you're fucked. A couple times I didn't want to put tarps on shit, and I did, and it fucking rained because I just noticed in this valley I was living in. There is no normal weather. If there are clouds present, it might rain. That's pretty much just how it is. You have no fucking idea how the weather's gonna play out. But yeah, I started working with this guy, and he fell off of a ladder. Like, we weren't even into exterior season. We were doing an interior, and he fell off. Well, I wasn't even there. I was doing an exterior. And then he calls me, hey man, I fell off a ladder, and you're going to have to come finish this job and pretty much do every job by yourself or with help, but not with him. I wanted to work with him. He's the professional. But working with whoever would help us, help me. And that's basically what I did. Yeah, that's basically what I did for the entirety of the summer, and the guy that fell off the ladder, James, he got better. He's back at it right now, but I mean, the only way I can explain how everything worked out over the summer and how him recovering and stuff, you know, at least he was in the office getting jobs. But I was helping him stay above water all summer, but we were treading water the entire time. And we were behind, and it took a couple, you know, I had to tell the guy, hey, I need help out here. Especially towards the end of the season when you know, my body's beat, and you know, homeowners getting on my nerves. And that's another thing I learned about this contracting stuff. You know, a lot of homeowners are just going to be the worst experience you've ever had. It might not be the worst, but it ain't going to be the best either. Some homeowners are awesome. Some homeowners are going to stand behind you and point out stuff. If you don't tell the homeowner about something you're going to do, they're just going to assume that you're not going to do it. And that's just what homeowners are like sometimes. You know, don't rely on homeowners to trust the process. If you get overspray on something and you say, you know, I'll just get to that later, or I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing and then come back to this later because it's gonna take more time for me to stop doing what I'm doing right now to fix this and then go back to what I was doing. And you know, sometimes it's just easier to just keep the momentum going, and as soon as you're done, you know, just get back over to wherever you're messing up and, you know, fix that. But if you don't tell the homeowner that, they're just going to look at the overspray and be like, well, this looks horrible. And then they're going to be calling their friends and family. And yeah, I mean, the painter's okay. But or when people talk to them, they're going to be like, yeah, the painter's good, this and that. And everything's going good. But there's overspray over here. And then there's, you know, some flashing, got some paint on it over here. And they got a couple paint drips on the concrete. It's still there. And it's like, yeah, well, you know, I mean, just wait for us to finish, and then we'll do like a preliminary walkthrough where we talk about stuff and this and that, and then we go do the touch-ups, we fix stuff, and then we do a final walkthrough, and then we get the okay that's done to their liking. Or there's just a couple things you got to do. I had a lady named Paige this year. We did a preliminary walkthrough. There was a lot of stuff to do. You know, the trim wasn't Wasn't looking as good as she wanted it, and and then she was like, "I'm sorry, I'm being so hard, and I'm sorry. Go ahead and let everybody know I'm just the most pickiest person ever." And I said, "No, you know what you want. You know what you want. You know what you paid for. You know what you want your finished product to look like, and it's my job to get as close to that as I can." And she was not the she wasn't the hardest job. She wasn't the most picky. We had a guy just didn't want us to finish before talking about stuff, and I know he was concerned, and there were some things that happened that were said that kind of made him paranoid and this and that, and if my ladder is not tall enough to get to a spot, I'm gonna do what I can where I am, and I'm gonna keep moving with the ladder I got. I'm not gonna stop doing what I'm doing to go grab a ladder that I need for just this section. And I can finish this section, and then I can go back and do this section. But I guess they just saw that there was a area that didn't get painted, and I guess they just didn't like that. So, and they want straight lines on a surface that is not straight, that is not flat, that's bumpy, and they want a straight line. Okay, well, it's going to take some time to do that, and I'm sorry, but it's just going to take time. But not really trying to bash homeowners. They are the reason why I got paid. Yeah, let me answer this phone.